Today we're talking about setting up your Black Friday marketing campaign in Adobe Express, and it's like making me realize I need to do this for myself. So I'm really happy for the
Same as that.
motivation that we're gonna get today, which is great.
It's so good. It's so good to be back. And
Yeah.
if we've not yet met, I'm Andy. I'm one of the product managers working on Adobe Express. And for my sins, came to Adobe through an acquisition of a business that I co-founded about 7 years ago, which was called Content Cal. And yes, we'll be talking about some of the social media goodness we're building and will continue to build in Express today, which makes me very, very happy because this is my favorite subject. And that's why it's so good to be doing this again every 2 weeks. We'll be back doing this slot, won't we, Jordan?
Yeah. And like, this is also a perfect partnership, I guess. We can both talk about our favorite things today. So I love like small business marketing and kind of scrappy online marketing without a huge ad budget and also maybe without design experience, which is why I love Express. And then you have all of the social media actual statistics of like strategy. So I think depending on what exactly you're looking for and what your strengths and maybe not as strengths are, hopefully there's a little something for everyone to learn today, which I'm really excited about.
Definitely, definitely. So, should we dive into it? Should we start
Yeah.
with a bit of strategy stuff? So, I'm going to share my screen and let's go ahead and talk about setting up the right strategy. So, when my screen's up on the screen, there we go.
Oh,
And
this is my
hopefully,
screen, I think.
is that your screen? There you go.
Cool.
Cheers,
And we're
mate.
in the chat too.
Amazing.
So please drop your questions for us and we'll answer as many as we can.
Cool. So let's then frame this with a bit of strategy stuff because before we get into the creative, before we hand it over to Jordan to start with that, and then I'll take over as well. We're going to frame this getting ourselves organized from a social media strategy perspective because what Black Friday is 3 weeks away now, I think.
It's way too
How
soon, honestly.
probably should have been planning this before. Never mind.
Yeah.
Never mind. So as it's upcoming in 3 weeks, we need to think about what our social strategy looks like in the run up to that. And of course, like social media is not just a promotional channel, right? It's there to build a community continually and ongoing. So we're going to talk about some of that real quickly. And once we've got our strategy set, it's going to make our content creation process so much easier. So let's start with a bit of goal setting. And now, of course, one of the most important things about Black Friday is going to be like driving as much revenue as
Mm-hmm.
possible. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
there's clearly a promotional angle to that. But there's other things we want to do. We don't want to compromise our social media strategy just to do promo for Black Friday. We need to think about this ongoing, but we will be thinking about our strategy through a Black Friday lens. So really, strategy can be boiled down to 4 key questions. Asking yourself these 4 key questions really helps inform both the content you'll create, the types of content you'll create as well, and as well like the tone of your copy. We'll talk more about copy later on. Firstly, what do you want to achieve? Fairly simple one, right? But this is the goal. And when we talk about goals, and Jordan, you can talk to this as well, like being consistent on social is very hard. So it means like having a really clear goal that helps motivate you is a super important one. I mean, Jordan, for you, there are the things that you do to like set goals because you run multiple things. You run communities, you run your small business on the side. So any tips for anyone
Yeah,
here?
one thing is that having a goal helps me focus because like you said, like I'm doing a lot of things. I imagine I'm not the only one here doing a lot of things and sometimes it can feel really scattered. Which is also why we talk about like planning ahead. I feel like setting goals is a big part of that. So knowing there are so many things you could be doing with your social strategy. Like you could be, yeah, trying to get more views, trying to get more followers, trying to get more sales, trying to educate, trying to entertain. And so deciding which of those you're focusing on at the moment for me helps me then make sure that all of the content I'm making actually is doing what I want it to do. Because you could do anything. Like social media is a wild place where you can do anything. And so knowing like what you're targeting, at least for me, helps with that mental like helps me stay on track because it's hard to make content if you don't know what you're making it for.
100%. 100%. So hopefully some of the stuff we'll talk about today should really help with like solving that creative block as well, and just having a real idea about what we're going to do. Anyway, so firstly, what do you want to achieve? Why are you doing this? What's the purpose? So staying clear with that purpose. Then who do you want to care? I talk about minimum viable audience a lot. And what I mean by that is thinking about the smallest possible audience that will sustain your business. So if you're a startup, this is a great way to think, because your smallest audiences, those niche communities, are a great way to really seem bigger than you are by working in those smaller communities, not spreading yourself too thin. Achieving something or doing something pretty special for a small group of people is a wonderful thing to accomplish in a business. And Jordan, I'm going to come back to you again on this one, because I think your business is a perfect example of like being so focused and truly understanding the audience you want to serve. Do you want to talk to that a little bit?
Yeah, I think one thing that is tricky for me, sorry, is that sometimes it can feel like you're niching down too small. So there are times where I'm like, oh man, I'll probably never have like millions of followers. But I think there's something so valuable in being that specific. Like if anyone knows me and my extremely specific, nerdy, feminine brand, that is like, there's not a lot else out there like what I'm doing. And so the people that I connect with, we like are best friends, and the people that I don't connect with, no hard feelings because it's super specific. But then that also like, it's just kind of an instant like, oh, this is like, you're the customer for me, or, you know, opposite, like you're a brand that I love and care about. So I think that there are a lot of perks to it. If you can be hyper specific, it like helps you make that connection, which is really cool.
Definitely. Going deep, not wide,
Yeah.
is a way to think about it. And Jordan and I, we often talk about this, because like going viral often is not the goal. So many people like aspire to go viral, feel terrible when a post gets a handful of likes or whatever. Like, we've been doing social media for a long time, and our own perspective is like, it really doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. It's like, it's the depth of connection we really want to care about. And
I mean, to that point, I have one TikTok that was like my friends cosplaying that I think has 200,000 views or likes or something, and everything else has like 30. So it doesn't it doesn't do anything. And that wasn't even about my business. It was showcasing something cool a friend was doing. Got me nowhere. Doesn't matter. To your point, like
it's a
it
great
didn't help me at all.
Great example. Like,
We have
of
some
course,
agreement in the chat too. So I think
nice. It feels good. Like, don't get me wrong. It always feels good if your post goes massive and you get loads of likes. You're gonna feel good. That's fine. But like, it really long term, it doesn't make a huge impact. And like, just to give you an idea, Content Cal, which is the business that we built, that got bought by Adobe, we had 20,000 followers across our 5 social channels. Not very big, but we were still the fastest growing company in the space, because we had lots of people talking about us in all of the right communities. We were there.
Mm-hmm.
And depth over breadth any day of the week when you want to grow a business. So cool. Then why should they care? And this is a bit that really matters, to the point of like niching down or like trying to serve those true fans. You've got to intrinsically understand like who you're trying to serve, right? And it always helps here when you feel that either the customer problem or you are the customer, right? Like whether it's like the nerdy things that you referenced, Jordan, like the slightly the niche things that you talk about, or whether it's like, well, equally nerdy for me, because it's like in-depth social media strategy. But
and even to get a little meta, like that's why I love working on Adobe Express, because I am 1 billion, like I'm an employee of Adobe, but I am the target audience of Express 1,000%. Like this is exactly what I use. Even if I didn't work here, this is how I make every single piece of any type of content that I make in my life. So it's really, really helpful because I know exactly how to use it, because I am the person that this was built for.
Yeah. It's so well put. 100% agree. So the more you understand about that audience, so if you're not the target customer, just really speak to them as much as you can. Like that was it's so helpful to really understand individuals' context, because that's the mindset shift that social media needs. It needs you to think audience first, not yourself first. That is like, I'll die on this hill. This is the thing that will unlock growth. Anyway, and then
I agree
finally,
100%.
and it links so well into like, what do you want to be known for, right? And it's easy question to answer or ask, quite hard to answer. So it's like, if someone was talking about your brand behind your back, like to someone else, how would you want to be described? And like, these 4 questions don't take long to write. You don't need to write a big strategy doc, but they're really pointed to help you get to the core of what you want to do, who you're going to speak to, why should they care, and really what is the impression you want to leave on people. All of that will be all you need to inform like a pretty solid social strategy. Is there anything that you'd add here, Jordan, at all? Or
Just one thing, when you're talking about like, what do people say if you're not listening? That's actually how I've written most of my bios, by either like, if I've done press, or I used to do that back in the day, or like even if I'm on someone else's podcast or things like that. Like, if anyone else is writing a bio for me or just talking about me, like at trade shows, or different types of like craft fairs, I would listen to the things that people said. This is a really goofy example, but I started making sweatshirts, and the first time I took those in person, everyone who walked past talked about how soft they were. And I was like, oh, that's not even on my, like, that's not in my product description. But no one online can like tell the thing that people in person can tell. So I'm going to start taking like the comments that I hear or the things that other people say when they're introducing me and putting that into my bio. Cause sometimes it's hard to like think about yourself the way other people see you, and sometimes other people are genuinely kinder to you than you are. So being like, oh yeah, everyone notices this thing I'm great at, I'm going to start telling people I'm great at this, because it's like the standout thing. So if you're having a hard time with any of this, just listen to how other people talk about you or your brand or whatever, and that might give you some good adjectives and some good words.
Love that. What a brilliant take. Cool. So let's talk strategy. And I won't go through this in too much detail because I'm going to link to the slides. I've actually put the slides on a slide share link. So because there's quite a lot on them. And the aim of this was to give you a whole load of ideas to help you kind of unlock content, right? So, you know, if you're struggling with like, oh, what should I post about? What should I do? I really hope this will help. So the best content strategy, I'm a simple man, so I like to keep things fairly simple, right? So I like to have some acronyms. So this best content strategy is something I've been working to for a long time now, just to create a really nice balance towards how we approach content strategy. And we've spoken about these lots on these streams, like content pillars. I'm sure everyone's bored of us by now, but like we're going to continue to talk about it because this is a good
reminder if you haven't thought about it in a while.
Exactly. And plus, we've been off air for the last 6 weeks or however long it is, so we need to do a reminder. So these 4 pillars are the foundations on which you build the rest of your content strategy. These are the things that are never changing, right? These are the things that you're like, okay, on these days, we talk about this thing. The whole reason for this is to make sure we have some consistency, because we know what kind of consistency means for social, and consistency might mean posting every day or once a week, whatever that means, but ultimately having a consistent rhythm to your social strategy, so you continue to do it, because naturally, you know, momentum is the thing that really drives growth. Just continue to do it. Anyway, and also it means that what we don't want to do is come in there on a Monday and go, right, oh, what are we going to post about this week, and look at a blank calendar or whatever.
The worst.
No one
That's
needs
the worst.
No one needs that anxiety, right?
No.
So we need to not be panicking or thinking like, oh, what are we going to post about? So 4 things help us with this balance. So 1, bond, introduce and engage. Basically, it's about the humans inside the business. It's the connection. It's the emotional connection. Speak about this lots. But the thing that really drives purchasing behavior is always trust in the individuals we work with. Jordan's built a wonderful small business with some really like focused communities. That have trust Jordan, that know she's going to show up, that know that she's going to engage. Sorry, I'm talking about you like you're not here, Jordan, but like I've been working with you for long enough that I think I can do it. But that's the emotional connection. It's often, it's those emotional connections that drive that purchasing behavior, because we often make this mistake as marketers, thinking that we have to have the best product to win. Someone else might have a softer sweatshirt than Jordan, but actually they're not Jordan, so it doesn't really matter. So they'll buy it from Jordan. Does that make sense? Do you agree,
And
John?
and I think that's how you differentiate yourself too. Like I've definitely talked to people who are like, oh, why should I be a personal trainer? Why should I sell blank? So many other people do. Because that's not really the thing. Like, unless you're doing something so new and niche that it doesn't exist other places, it's like your business's twist on it. Especially for services. Like probably you're not the only person, doing financial planning or whatever your specific business is, like yoga teacher. There are so many, but everyone connects differently. And so like you can build connections with people that, other folks can't. And that's how you stand out.
100%. So to fly through some of these really quickly, as I said, we'll share the slides, but they're all fairly self-explanatory. Education is about value. The more value you provide, the more you build trust. Showcasing your expertise, whether it's customer testimonials, and telling is more like, what action do you want people to take? And that's where the promo bit comes into it. So what I've also done underneath each of these pillars is created a whole bunch of topics as well. So
this is so
both
good for brainstorming. I love this. My favorite way to do this too before you start is to brainstorm with someone else. So like if you have someone else who is like a business partner or even just someone who knows your business, I love just sitting down maybe with a drink and being like, okay, let's just talk about the answers to all of these and take a bunch of notes and then use that for your content for the
love that.
foreseeable future. That's my
Love that.
favorite plan.
So in these slides, there is about, I would say, 6 months worth of content if
Yeah.
you want to work towards that. So hopefully this gives you some thought starters to build from. So bond, sharing stories, creator spotlights. So like highlighting other people in your niche. A fantastic way of building community is by being generous, by lifting other people up. So lifting other people up, celebrating others is such a powerful and underutilized thing on social. Behind the scenes, once again, humanizing the brand, educating like top 5 things I wish I knew, their favorite books, those things, again,
Yeah.
providing value, creating that connection. Showcasing like reviews, work in progress, testimonials, behind the scenes as well works well here. Like, I'm making this, or involving people in the creation of something, like which color should I do this? I've seen this work well for authors where they're like, oh, I'm thinking about these
Yeah.
2 covers. And then telling is pretty simple. But what we've given here is like some ways that you can just make your promo content just more interesting, rather than like, hey, 20% off, like ways that you can reveal them or put some kind of quizzes or competitions or those kind of things that just makes it a little more interesting. And then to give you an idea of how that all kind of breaks down when you're building a content plan, it could look like something like this, where you've got your consistent pillars here, which are non-changing. So here I'm showing an example of like doing pretty much a post every day. And underneath that sits those topics like we were just going through there. So again, like just a consistent way and a clear way to build a structure to your content plan. And then that can all be built into Adobe Express, into content scheduler. So what I
I
tend to
love
do
this. This is my looking at a calendar like that is just like filled in, ready to go, and you just pop in the specific content. Like that's my dream. That gives me so much joy.
And it's just such a world away from looking at a blank canvas. You're like,
Yeah.
I've got an idea. Right, Monday, I need to be doing more bond orientated content. How do I, what have I done? What topics have I covered? Return back to your ideas and build from there. So this now
Wonderful.
is a perfect juncture, because we've got an idea of our strategy. We know what our kind of plan starts to look like, but we need to now fill it with some content. So that's where Jordan comes into it, and we're actually going to
Yeah.
be using your brand that we've been talking about. So we're going to
We're doing my homework
slide on
for
over to
me live.
Jordan's screen. Yeah.
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 I need to do this anyway. So this is literally, again, I said I use and love Adobe Express, and I'm not kidding. Like this is what I do. So yeah, if we pop over to my screen, then I'll show you my brand. I'm going to share it with Andy. We're going to do a little tag team for the rest of the stream. And then, yeah, we'll build that. Cool. Sorry. Here we go. Here is my homepage. If you have never seen Adobe Express, we're here. This is your stuff. And these are my brands. So some of these are, I've helped other people with their brands before, and I have built a couple different brands for my businesses and stuff. So this is my nerdy fashion brand. So I have my logos, I have my color palette, I have my fonts, some graphics, some saved templates. I'm gonna go ahead and actually share this with Andy now because maybe, let's see. Maybe I won't share it with Andy. Let me try one more time. I want to share this with Andy so that we can tag team this.
A Lambert is me.
All right. Thanks, Andy. Let's see. Express has been giving me so much trouble today. Cool. Here we go. I'm going to let Andy edit it. I'm going to invite him. So now he has access to this. So when we work on this project together today, he can then have access to my fonts, my colors, my graphics. I don't have to send him like hex codes. I don't have to send him all of these graphics separately. So now Andy has my brand, and I'm going to start a project and then let him finish it. So here is starting from scratch. I'm going to make an Instagram square post. So I'm going to create from scratch. And then there are all of these like Adobe stock photos. There are all of these templates. Like we could use what is in Adobe Express, but I'm going to upload my own photos from my own photo shoots because this is for me for Black Friday. And the first thing I'm going to do is show off something brand new to Adobe Express. If you've already seen this, then cool. If you haven't, this is something that I love. So I'm going to upload some photos. Here I have some like brand photos that I've chosen. I'm going to open them all in kind of a pile. And then if I just highlight them and hit create collage, it made me a beautiful collage in like 1 second, which is so
excited.
Fun. Yeah,
so
this is new / back in a new way. So if you have used like collage makers on Express in the past, then this is here and back. It's really, really simple. You can move things around. You can also do things that like this is automatically attached to the background, but I can detach it too and then just kind of move it around. And I can change the background color and all of that stuff. But I'm actually going to leave it like this because it looks great. And this is going to be page 1 or maybe page 2 of like just a kind of showcase of the types of things that you can get in my Black Friday sale. And you can do that as a way to showcase like your latest collection, a photo shoot, anything you want. So now I'm going to go ahead and add a second page here. I'm going to just add one that's the same size. And I'm going to search for a template because I am not a professional designer. I love using templates. And I'm going to search for a fashion template. I could search Black Friday and there are a lot of cute ones, but I actually like searching for the theme of my brand, my company, and then it's really easy to tweak this into Black Friday. So this one is cute. I forgot I can just add it as a new page, so I didn't even have to add that page there. So this is not specifically a Black Friday template, but I can change that really easily. I'm going to actually ungroup this so I can work with this all separately. And instead of timeless workwear, I'm going to make this Black Friday sale. I have my brand here, so I can just click on any of my brand fonts. I'll click on this. It's a little tight now, so I want to space out these lines. Maybe make it a little smaller. Cool. That's great. I want to change out this photo. So I'm going to go back into the media, the folder that I have, and let's add in this one. Yeah, cool. Add that in here. If you haven't played with layers, you just move that around. Easy. And then really the only other thing I'm going to do is change the background color to one of my brand colors. So I can poke around Let's do that one. And yeah, this is it. Actually, I do want to resize this though into a square post so that I can make this into a carousel. So I can just like move this around a little bit, actually make this bigger. Yeah, cool. This looks pretty solid as like a page one Black Friday sale. I can also go back into my brand from your stuff, brands and libraries, go back here. If I want to add like any of these little graphics, I've been doing kind of collage like digital collage style posts lately, which are really fun. So I can like add this here, maybe do something like this. I just pulled these are Express design assets that I just pulled in. That just like adds a little bit to my project. And then if I want to duplicate this to have it be a couple pages and keep this like super, super easy, I can just swap out what I have for page 2. So I'm going to add in a new photo. Let's pick, this is a different one. Let's do this one. And, you know, you can crop it. You can do whatever you want. This looks cool. Move it around. Just change the background color. Maybe I'll do like a red for this and duotone this into a different color. Like this is one of my favorite tricks for Adobe Express is just using the exact same template. Like this looks, you know, it's a whole different project, but it's the same thing.
It's a
I
nice
think we have
touch.
time. I'll do one more so we
Great.
can do a
You've got
carousel
plenty of
with
time.
3. All right,
Plenty,
cool.
yeah.
Actually, then I'll do 2 things. I'll add one more page, duplicate this again, swap out this photo. Let's do, that one's fun. And like I said, I'm literally just going to use this for real. So this is me doing what I need to do on Adobe Live, which is great. I didn't use this blue yet. Okay, cool. I'll swap this out again. Yeah, if you have a shape, you can sometimes just change the color directly, but if it's a design asset, I like doing this duotone hack that lets you change the color of things. So now we have, let me delete this blank page. Now we have these 3 that are like a nice little collection. We have this collage. Because I have a second, I'll show you one last trick. If I want to duplicate this one and actually take it back into the Instagram story size, this is what I was playing with as kind of the rest of my campaign, or like sometimes I like doing the same post in feed and then also in stories in case you know miss it, or you kind of have a little more grace in stories. You can really like hammer home what you're posting, and you can post links and all of that kind of stuff. And I can also animate this. So if I want the text to make this like either a reel or an animated story, I can have maybe I'll have the words drift in, and then because of these little like things in the background, I can have this animate in let's just like spin that. I don't know if this is too wild, but yeah, now it's a little movie, which is fun. And I could also get crazy with the background. If I didn't want to have these, I could go into media and text to image portrait and just say maybe let's do like muted green speckles and see what we get there. We've shared this on Adobe Live before, but I really like using Firefly and Adobe Express to make like very specific backgrounds. So I don't use the text to image to generate images that often, but I do use it for stuff like this.
Such a smart way of doing it.
Yeah, I can set that as the page background. And then I could also duotone this if it's not quite right. So I could go back in here and make this my brand colors by just, let's see how that, yeah, or red, whatever I want. So that's all my that's all my Express tricks in one. But if
That's it.
I,
You're out now. You're
yeah,
done.
that's all I have. So I should just, well, I'll share this project with you and then you can schedule it. Yeah. Is
Yeah,
that what we're gonna do?
absolutely.
And then you can add to it. Cool.
Well, I think this is a really good example. Before we go into that, actually, I just want to kind of call this out, how good some of that looks after what, both whilst you're talking and doing that at the same time. What, that took you 5 minutes
Yeah.
max? And even though that kind of template gave you the great starting point, um, it's ended up in something fairly different. And what we're doing now, and we're going to flick on to my screen in just a second now. So what Jordan's doing is sharing this with me. And now that Jordan's shared it, and also shared the brand, is a fantastic way of us like working together as a team. So if you think of scenarios that you might either have a team member that you want to collab with, one of them, you might have a kind of larger team where you have a marketer and you're the designer, so it'll work well in that scenario. Maybe you have like an agency or a client that you're doing work for. All of these scenarios work so well at sharing brands, so you've got like consistency in terms of the type of content that you should be working with, and then sharing projects like this, a brilliant way to work together. So,
And I didn't do this because I trust Andy, but you can lock different pieces too.
because
So
you
if I,
don't.
so I was like, look, the Black Friday sale, has to stay like this. Or if I wanted to lock like the background or something, like I could lock different pieces of it, but that's something that gives you a little more control as well.
Yeah, it's a really good call out. Those locking features have been very popular because, lots of designers don't want to trust the marketing team, which I can understand. As a marketer, I can understand that.
I honestly love getting locked templates myself where I'm like, cool, these are the 3 things I can change. That's all I needed to do. So perfect.
Exactly. So before I didn't have any of Jordan's assets. So I didn't have anything I could add to the content that I was going to help Jordan with. Until Jordan shared the brand with me, which is all of these kind of brilliant elements that we can work with, whether it's logos, colors, fonts, graphics, and templates, so some pre-made stuff that we can just work with. So Jordan's been very kind and made my life very, very easy here. But in this instance, what we're going to do, we are going to work with a file that Jordan shared with me earlier, which is this. So but before we do that, actually, what we're going to do is, I think you've shared the project with me. There you go. There's the project. So you get a little notification on email, and
you might get a notification in Express too, like in your little,
I'm sure I did.
I don't know where they are.
Probably missed it
somewhere. It's okay.
Probably missed it. So
however you get it is cool.
I'm old school. I'm old school. So I like an email. So so now we're in, and now we can see all of the different pages that Jordan has created, which is perfect, because now the great thing is, because we're building this Black Friday campaign, we're doing everything in one single project, all with multiple different pages. So we've got lots of different purposes we can work with this on. So here, I'm just going to add to it. I don't want to create anything from scratch here because we want everything within this project that Jordan shared with me. So I'm going to press add. So, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this because we're actually going to work with this. But you know what? I could have just started with a new scene, but I'm just going to, we'll start again. We're going to use Jordan's background here as well because I like this color. You're not missing that one in the feed.
Well, yeah. And the fun thing too, I don't know if you all can see. Yeah, I'm still in this project. So like I could still overtake Andy's design decisions if I wanted.
Yeah. I'm being watched at this point. Yeah. Jordan is the guardian of the brand. So I'm just going to go ahead and upload something that you shared with me earlier. So I think your pin badges here, which look great. Now I'm going to crop this a little bit because there's a bit of dead space in. So you could have shot this better, Jordan. Come on, you shot this.
I literally did this 20 seconds before we started filming. So maybe not my most cinematographic work.
So as much as I love your carpet here, Jordan, I think we don't need to see too much of it. So we'll cut that a little bit. But the great thing is I've got your brand colors. So we've got a brand new page in this project. And obviously we're working with this as a video. We can press edit timeline. So now we've got our timeline controls Also going to put on show layer timing. We've only got one layer in this, but if we're going to have multiple layers, which we will do in a second, then we might want to adjust this. Always love the align features, top, middle, bottom, etc. But you've also got the kind of the pink lines to keep you true here.
Yeah.
We could bring in some other bits. So from our stuff, we can bring in our brands and libraries. And here's our, you can see the ones that have been shared as well. So here's Jordan's one. We can go ahead and pop in a logo if we want to. So we can pop that in at the bottom. Looks good. So I have
It's
that.
so nice. Like I've been running this business for, like I said, like over a decade, and the amount of times that I have sent like folders of assets with different sizes of things, and I have to clean them up first and you know what I mean? Like just knowing that you have my logo, my
100%.
colors, and if I update it on my end, it updates on your end. I don't have to like send a new version. It's so nice.
Exactly. I'm so with you on that. So this is I'm figuring this is new merch. I don't even know what the purpose of this one is,
It
but
is.
yes, good. Right, perfect. Because this was going to be a new merch announcement post. So I'm glad we got that right. So
I'm changing the color of this arrow for you.
thank you.
It's
This
driving
is so
me crazy.
good. Oh yeah. I was going to go back and change it, John. Wow.
No, don't worry. I'll help you.
I've never known you be like this, Jordan. So cool. Now it's time to add some text because we want to announce some new merch here. But of course, you know, we want to make sure we're using the brand font because woe betide me if I get it wrong for Jordan. Because either way, she'll be in there to check it. Jordan Denay. Oh, there we go. Let's have that one.
Beautiful.
And we happy with that one, yeah?
Love it. A+.
Amazing. So move that to dynamic text so we can kind of move it around like this if we want to. I think maybe something like that.
Do you want to just show that it could also be in a circle? Because we didn't show that yet at all.
Oh, we didn't. So
this is back, friends.
Back by popular demand, it's fair to say. Circle text, arch text if we want to, bow underneath. So some more things are coming here, but yeah, it was such an important thing to bring back. So all your different text layout tools. In fact, there's a whole bunch of text opportunities here.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, do check it out. And there's more things that we can do here too, in terms of like text styling. So if we wanted to add like a Gen AI text effect, so if we want to, you know, we can make it look like the carpet as well. So if we wanted to do that, we absolutely could. We can do other things too as well. So shadow this one. So really lift it off the page a little bit. What do you reckon, Jordan? Bit of shadowing or no?
Yeah. And you can, I mean, you can change the color of the shadow too to make it, I mean, you can do all kinds of stuff.
Exactly. And we're not going for absolute fidelity here. So we're gonna stick with this. But I'm going to animate this one. So I'm going to have that one breathing a little bit, something like that.
I use that one a lot. Yeah.
Yeah. So change the personality. We're feeling soft or smooth. We're going to go, I think it looked all right smooth. So we're going to slow it down as well. Decrease the intensity because sometimes these can look a little wild.
Especially with text. I like to turn those down a little bit.
Yeah, I'm with you. But we definitely need some effects on or some animation on this too. So I have a little preview. That doesn't really work. That might work. I'm going to slow that down again, decrease the intensity somewhat. So yeah, that works.
This is so much more interesting than just my very basic video that I snapped for.
So yeah, really, I mean, it is just a super simple video. It talks to like the stuff that we were talking about right at the start, which is like, you know, making it feel a little bit more kind of real and human. You don't need to have like absolute fidelity of this, but we can just do some simple touches to both make it feel uniquely yours and just to, you know, make it a little more scroll stopping. So there, I think we're pretty good on that one too. So this could well live as a story or a reel or a TikTok or whatever. But hey, we're not done yet, I don't think, because I think we're gonna go ahead and do another new page because hey, feeling greedy.
Yeah, let's do it.
And
But this is
we
also so nice to have your whole campaign in one project. Like this is my favorite way to work. I just posted some videos about I ran a Kickstarter, which this video is from that. And so I had all my projects together, or I had all my pages in one project so that I could just pull out like, okay, I need this now. I need this story. I need this reel. And I knew they were all together. I could like see them all together. And it was very helpful for me. It was really, really nice.
oh
And this
yeah,
is
I think
batch
these
creating at its finest, just making your whole campaign at once and then spread it out over weeks or days or however long. It's lovely.
yeah, I'm so with you. And like you can even like give these some titles as well. So like this is more like Jordan's intro, so it's going to be more kind of like bond orientated content. And like I forgot the topic of this message, but I'm just going to use one of the topics that
That's
we
basically
spoke
it.
about.
Yep.
So oh sweet, all the right guesses
Doing
here.
great. Yeah.
Nailing it. Cool. And the fact is, like, you know, all of these collaboration features still work on video too, which have always been a nightmare to collaborate on. So, in fact,
Yeah.
talking about those collaboration features, you know, we can even pop some comments to say, you know, could we change this element? You know, I can tag Jordan in it, you know, update this if I wanted to. If I could spell, that'd be amazing. Update this. So those pinning of comments, super, super useful. And we can do similar things as well. So maybe we want to chop the top and bottom of it if we wanted to do that. And we could change the background color. Again, we've got Jordan's brand colors. So, you know, just life is made so easy here. Maybe a bit of red just to mix it up a little bit. Again, bring this up. And there's one thing I haven't done because we were bringing this in straight away into this project, and something I really should call out. So I'm going to flick onto a new tab really quickly because one of the latest quick actions we've just launched under video, and this has been, you know, one of those things that we heard from users of Adobe Express so much that this is so important. So yeah, we shipped it, which is the ability to caption videos. So
I've used this so much this week. I've been making so much stuff for like my Kickstarter and Black Friday coming up. I have used this a million times. It's great.
It's so good, so good. So what I should have done, if I was actually thinking about it, I should have dropped your video into this and then captioned it at the same time. But hey, never mind. And that really starts to talk about like how far we can make our content go. So especially if we're like looking at marketing in different regions as well, you know, we can translate, not just subtitle it in UK. We've now got translate features that will allow you to translate everything on your post. In fact, you know, I can do it with a new merch post. We can translate this one into, you know, into French if we wanted to, and multiple at the same time. And again, it's just going to add another page to this project. There we go. So super useful, super
That's
useful.
Awesome.
So yeah, there we go. Just a way of which that we can really start to scale our content and just, you know, make it more appealing and reach a wider audience, which is what we want with our Black Friday campaigns, right?
Yeah.
So this is looking pretty darn good. We've got an incredible showcase post of like example customers, like product in the wild, promo about our kind of Black Friday sale, which is a bit more promo orientated. We've got 4 of these. New merch, a great way of kind of like catching the attention, showcasing new products, and something that's a bit more kind of like human connecting thing that shows the individual behind the brand. So we've got a really good representation of lots of different things here. In fact, like because we should need to pop the logo on that because we can't not have it branded. Although that does not work with that contrast, does it? So
nope.
I think that background color will go like there. We've got lots of greens going on here today, so we're going to work with that. Of course, we could continue doing loads of cool stuff. We can add in different elements. So because Jordan is a star, we can go ahead and bring more stars into this because everyone needs more stars in life. We could animate that and just make it.
I honestly do that all the time. Just add stars and like make them flicker. It's very cute.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to make everything better. So, you know, I'm gonna let's go ahead and make some of those stick up. Like again, I'm going to end up just playing for the next 5 minutes or whatever, but I'm not going to. So we'll stay on track, because now we get to do the even more cool stuff. Because now we've created all that content super quickly, we've collaborated together, all of the stuff that you've just seen. But now we can start to put all of this content out into the world and start building our social content plan. So I'm going to multiple select these, because firstly, this is a carousel post. So
Yeah.
all we got to do is select all three of those, press the share button, and then schedule that post. We want to make sure it's going to land at the perfect time for our audience. So these three images now, so this is going to go on our Insta initially. So here, this will just be a post for now, because this is perfect for a feed post. We can put in our caption, which I'm not going to do right now. Add our hashtags we can mention people to, so we can tag people. It won't happen automatically, but as long as you know just copy and paste their handle. And plug for Jordan as well. So Jordan's handle.
Thank you.
So first comment for Insta, I saw that you were using this effectively, Jordan.
Yeah. You can add links, which is awesome. So I did that for my Kickstarter all the time. Like I just added links. They're kind of annoying to click. Like you have to copy paste from Instagram, I think, but it's better than not having it at all. So that's 100%. What I decided, at least.
Exactly that. And we can preview it, so you get a view as to what our grid looks like, or our carousel looks like, rather, not our grid. And then we're gonna, if we're happy, we can just go ahead and schedule it, because next Thursday is where this kind of like tell orientated content, because this is our kind of more promo stuff. Schedule it. Done.
You're so brave for not even hitting save as a draft.
Yeah,
you're gonna end up posting this.
I know. I will go back.
Thanks for promoting my business, Andy.
Yeah, exactly. Now Jordan's all over my social media.
Love it.
So, but we go straight back to the campaign and all the project that we're working on.
Yeah, that's so nice.
So this one, I'm going to share this one, because this one is going to be quite applicable on so many different social channels. So I'm going to hit share, and we're going to do something a little bit different. What we're going to do is put this across multiple channels, because a square's a square, works on every single channel. And once it's published, it will optimize it a little bit for each network. And again, preview is your friend here. So just pop in, if I could spell, our caption here, do all the things that we just spoken about. Because this one's a more showcasey post, I'm going to do this next Wednesday, I think. Again, choosing the best time. Typically, content works the best in most instances in morning time, but depending on your business, that will vary. Again, previewing it, we'll see how it looks on Facebook, on Insta, on
The preview
X.
is so nice, because like especially squares tend to work pretty well no matter what, but if you have it like a slightly different dimension, it's really nice to know if anything's getting cut off. Like if an important piece is missing on a certain platform, you can go back in and shift it and resize it before posting. I love preview.
Definitely. And how good does that collage you make look? Looks
so
so
great.
Good. Looks so good. So amazing. Well, there you go. Schedule that one. Boom. That is gone. So here we are back to the campaign. We're going to continue. We are rocking and rolling with our content schedule here. So this one is your story you made, which is
and
perfect.
like I said, this is my favorite way to do this, because we talk about like batching, or however you want to call it, like sitting down for a day. I especially like doing this when I'm feeling motivated, because there are days that I love the internet and there are days where I like never want to open Instagram again. So on a day where I love it, I'll do it all, and then I can afford to take those breaks without like not posting, because it's already going up. So especially big sales, big holidays, new releases, campaigns like that. Like, what if you get sick? It's winter. I'm sick all the time. It's just nice to know, like, I have everything ready to go. I can always add more. I can always change it. But like the backbone is there. At the bare minimum, like everything I have is ready to go.
Love that.
It's so helpful. Yes.
I agree. And a quick call out, because I have a creator profile rather than the business profile. You'll just need to make sure you have a business profile when you're doing stories. It's an Instagram requirement. It's not our fault. But yeah, you can go ahead and do this. But we've only recently added this, the ability to choose where it's going to go, right? So this one, I might well come back to it later on. as we're not doing a story. But in fact, actually, I think I do. This is just a call out. I think I do have a business account connected. We'll see. Let's see what happens. Let's go ahead and have that for the Tuesday for Insta story. Schedule that one. Ah, I must have
Cool.
a business profile already. Good as gold. It
Perfect.
would tell me that I didn't. It would not let me do it if I didn't. And
Yeah,
then
that's relatively new too, since our last stream, at least, that you can, for Instagram, you can do post stories or reels. So you don't have to think about all of those separately. You can, I mean, literally it's all in the same project here. It's so convenient.
exactly that. Yeah. And that was such an important one. We only released that less than a month ago. So
Yeah.
yeah, lots of good stuff coming. So yeah, keep the suggestions coming too. And this is the final one because we want this one to go to Insta and TikTok because this is your kind of new merch announcement. We want it to go to an Insta reel. So there we go. We can do that. And what we're gonna do is let me just get rid of Insta for the second and put in a bit of caption here.
Yeah, I love the TikTok options too.
Oh, sorry. You'll notice that I'm being a fool and I've got two videos selected here, which I shouldn't have done, which is why I was throwing that error at me. So it's only one video at a time on Reels or TikTok, as you would expect. Anyway, same stuff. You're probably getting the handle of this. You've got some extra options for TikTok. So I don't think many people will want to disable those because they're the things that really encourage interaction. But if you're really protective about like your brand in particular, you can disable those if you want to. Again, previewing it, you can watch the videos in the preview too. So you can really see, does it look good alongside
That's
like
so nice. It's also
safe
really
zones?
great because I did something silly a couple months ago where I didn't realize Instagram Reels like cut you off at a certain time, or at least they
Mm,
did before. And so I was posting like half of my videos because I didn't know they were being cut off. So if I had just previewed, I would have known that.
would have saved you.
So look at the previews, friends.
And then finally, let's go ahead and schedule that one. So we have now created our Black Friday campaign.
Wonderful.
We're all set. And then, final thing, here's everything and how it's looking. How good does that look? We've got
It's
all of
also
our
so nice. You
content,
can move it
move it around.
around. Yeah, I love that. I do that all the time. Like, oops, I accidentally have too many posts in one day, which is a problem I love to have. I just move it around to other days.
Exactly. Like, yeah, how easy was that? Working together, collaborating, building our brand, got a real clear strategy. And yeah, there's a week's worth of content we've just done in 15 minutes whilst we've been busy waffling on. And
Yeah, but this is
there you
truly, I
go.
don't know if anyone else works like this. This is my favorite way to work. Like, I've been a solopreneur, but I have other small business friends. And especially when I was doing this full time, I would start going crazy, like just working by myself. So I would do co-working sessions with friends, and just kind of, we would all be making stuff at the same time. And if we had had this, it would have been so helpful because then we could just share. We wouldn't even have to like share our screens. We could just share projects and be like, what do you think of this? Because instead, before I would have to like download every page, email or text them to people, ask what they thought I should change, and then change it and then send revisions. Now it's just like, here's my project. Tweak the things that you think I should tweak, and then I can see them instead of like, you should make this line a little smaller and change this. Like, I'm sure you've all done this. It's just so nice to have it all in one place. I love Adobe Express, to be honest. So
Ah,
this is great.
oh, you and me both. And I think probably the only thing that we haven't just touched on so far is you haven't shared your social handles. So if people want to connect with us or
Yeah, I was
have any
gonna say
questions,
we didn't really have a lot of questions today, which is cool if this all just made so much sense that no one had questions. But if you do have questions later, I am at Jordan Danae Ellis and Andy is at Andy R. Lambert, and we are online all the time. So if you have any questions about Adobe Express or your marketing campaigns, or especially with the holidays coming up, I am not an expert, but I've been doing this for a long time and will happily share any of the knowledge that I have accumulated over the past decade. So if you have questions about what you're posting, how to post it, please feel free to ask us. And yeah, if you have suggestions about Adobe Express, especially the content scheduler, let Andy and I know, mostly Andy. But yeah, I think that's it. Good luck putting your holiday campaigns together, everyone. I can't wait to see them. Please feel free to tag us too. We love seeing what you all make after this, but I think that's it. Yeah.
I think one quick plug just to say, like, if you want to get the recordings of this
Yeah.
or any other social strategy, you can join our Substack, which Jordan and I write, which is all about, it's basically the on-demand version of what we do now. So talking about social strategy, content creation tips, etc. I've just linked to that. I'll be sharing the links to that in all of the chats that we're in on YouTube and LinkedIn and wherever else we are. So there
Yeah,
we
and
go.
you can
There's a
always
link.
DM us for that if you can't find the link. But yeah, that's where we share all of our info. Thank you all so much for being here. Thanks for hanging out with us and have a really good day. We'll see you next time.
Thanks so much. Take care.
Bye.
Bye-bye.